That's right.
Sure.
He's frozen.
We're live, folks, here from Denver, Colorado. Welcome to the MSS ADA podcast with your host, our executive director, Fran Witten, Mr. Keith Mangan, our president, myself, Matt Trahan, first vice president. We'd like to welcome Shao Van Paris from the NIAAA. How's everybody doing? Keith, you doing well? Good.
I'm good. I'm great. I wish I was there with you all, but I'm not. So,
Yes.
Wish you could be here, Keith. It's been a great experience. We're halfway through the conference already. I don't know where the time goes, but it's been a tremendous experience for everyone. In great part, thanks to Cheryl and the job that she does with the LTI program.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. I have to give a plug. We are working hard in Massachusetts. If you're an athletic director and you wish to better yourself, gain knowledge, and improve professionally, be sure to register for the MSS ADA conference this March, which is filled with LTI courses, concurrent sessions, vendors, and so much more. Mass ADs out there, get to register.
And sign up for the CAA exam if you can.
Well, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
So we found a nice quiet spot here, Keith. We're looking forward to speaking with you. We do want to talk a little bit about the conference. It's been wonderful. The weather's great. Obviously, we're inside right now, but it's been packed with so many things. We just left the delegate assembly. We've got some sessions this afternoon. I myself taken 790. What's going on back home in Massachusetts?
Well, I got to tell you, talk about weather-wise. We're almost 70 degrees here yesterday.
Wow. Very
so
nice.
It was a beautiful day. I had a couple of hockey games I got to go to. My son had a scrimmage, and then my hockey team opened up last night. So not the ending that we wanted, but it was a good time as well. But seeing some of those pictures that are coming across from out there in Denver, some of our colleagues are very good about letting me know what you guys have been up to, going out to dinner and seeing some games and stuff like that, as well as learning and following along with Twitter. It's wish I could be there, but looks like you guys are learning a lot.
The city is beautiful, and there's a lot of sights to see. So we're definitely trying to get out and enjoy that a little bit, as well as get professionally developed as well. So
absolutely,
really, we have Cheryl here, and we're so thankful to have her. Cheryl's been with the NIAAA for quite some time.
11 and a half years.
Excellent. Wow. Excellent. Tell us a little bit about your role within the organization.
When I first started, I was over LTI and certification, and we just started transitioning about a year ago. I transferred LTI to Alex Ferguson, and I am now over certification for the next 2 days. I'm retiring at the end of this conference. So Natalie Crocker is going to be taking over certification, and she's also in charge of membership.
Awesome. Excellent.
Well, Cheryl, we thank you for all you've done. I talked to Kara Ellis, our LTI coordinator, and she cannot say enough about the job you have done, how you've been an assistant to her in the growing and the development of our program. We have an increased number of CAAs and CMAAs, it seems like, every day due to the wonderful course offerings. So we wish you the very best in retirement, but you are going to be dearly missed.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And a lot of our roles is, taking professional development. And obviously I'm trying to obtain an additional certification. I sent you an email, and within the hour I had a reply. So we do appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Well, and last year during quarantine, I got to do my CMAA project.
Yes, you did.
And Cheryl was super helpful in going through that. And then I've been working with Matt, making sure he's getting his stuff ready to go so he can get his done as well. So thank you for all you've done and continue to do. And so, Cheryl, 2 days retirement. What are the plans? What do you got on the horizon? What are you going to do?
Well, I've been joking with everybody. I'm kind of like, I don't know if anybody knows Phil, but Phil is up at the crack of dawn, and he's usually at work by 6:15. I'm not quite there that early, but I'm usually up somewhere between 7 and 7:30. So my goal is to learn how to sleep in. So then we'll go from there.
I highly recommend napping. Napping during retirement is a great thing. You can develop an art, but rather than sleeping in, I'd recommend get up early, get things done, and then a nice afternoon nap is a luxury.
And napping is not good while you're still working at your desk, especially if your desk faces an open hallway where students walk by. You want to make sure you don't do that then while you're still working. So, but that's great. Good for you, Cheryl. That's great. and wish you all the best.
So Cheryl, during your years with the NIAAA, what have you found the most rewarding?
I have to say this, and then the Cognia, who is our accreditation, the company that accreditates us, they're always amazed at the volunteerism of this organization. I mean, you guys take it upon yourselves to create courses for professional development, to make yourselves better, and they're always astounded as to how basically all this is done with a lot of volunteers. I have to say, one of my most rewarding things is I love sending the email and the letter to all of our new CMAAs. I think that's awesome. I think the new oral presentations is a great option for a lot of people who don't like to write. It gives them an option to talk about their program, whatever their project was, but I think that's probably one of the most rewarding. And I just love sending, I mean, I have to say, I don't like creating the certificates, but I really enjoy sending out the emails to people when they pass the exam. I think that's probably my favorite part. So
I think we have a CMAA project in the making right here, possibly with our host on this podcast.
I know that you'll be retired, but Kara Ellis was kind enough to spearhead it. And she goes, Matt, she goes, why? She goes, you're all set, you're ready to go. Fill out the PDF, and why don't you do it on the podcast? So that's what will be coming. And certainly we love doing this. This is something we do 7 or 8 times a year throughout the year, and it's great to have athletic administrators come on, talk about their role, because as you know, every AD does it a little differently. So
right.
Yep.
We have had one of our, I know at least one in Georgia, if not 2 in Georgia. They do a podcast together, and they got their CMAs through that, explaining how they started and what the process was. And they're very interesting. I have to say that there's a lot of interesting things people come up with, and working with the certification committee, they're the biggest bunch of thieves you will find. They love stealing ideas from each other. And, but it's a great process.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, it's not like you're stealing when you're working with a colleague, and there's no reason to reinvent the wheel here as well. So as long as you give them proper credit, it's all good.
Yes.
I would think.
So as she mentions that, I will be reaching out to those 2, because I know that they've obtained this certification. So, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is great.
And for myself, like, I had put off doing my CMAA for a while because I didn't want to do that written project. And then 2 years ago in Baltimore, I went to the presentation on doing an oral project and stuff like that. And like, that was for me. Be able to sit and, do some stuff, but to be able to talk it out. And so much of what we do is interacting with people. And that was definitely the way to go for me.
Great. So Cheryl, you had brought up Phil,
Mm-hmm.
and he's wonderful. I had a nice conversation with Phil earlier yesterday, and obviously Mike.
Yes.
What's it like to work with those 2 gentlemen?
You really couldn't ask for 2 better supervisors. I hate using the word boss, which they are. Totally different personalities, but they're a great team. And I have to say, I like coming in early, especially on Monday mornings, because we get to talk sports. It's just the 3 of us. And we have they're just really great to work for. I couldn't ask for 2 better bosses.
That's awesome. So I've again, we were all on social media. We all get to kind of see. I'd love to see the office, right? Because from what I see, it looks beautiful. You look like you have a beautiful atmosphere to work in, and you're working with some tremendous colleagues. Over the years, people come and go. Who are some folks that you like to recognize that you work closely with?
I have to say, well, I went to my last certification committee meeting, and I'm truly, really going to miss that group. Even though they kind of rotate on and off, I really, really enjoy working with them, and they're the great group of people. Integrity, you couldn't find better people for that. And then I also, because I work closely then with the state coordinators like Kara, same thing, just best of the best. I'm really lucky in that regard that I get to work with such great individuals.
And it is so important that people understand the the experience they can have by volunteering for these committees. You had mentioned earlier that it's all volunteers. You look at these different committees, and I've served on several. It's just such a great experience, and we try to get people to get involved. But
Correct.
has that been your experience or what you've seen as well?
Yes, I seen even the individuals on the committees will admit that it was probably one of the best experiences they've had, the growth that they get, and it's a great way to connect with people. I mean, that's part of it. I mean, yesterday in the committee, we were kind of talking about, what they did or how they got on the committee. And one of the gentlemen who's rolling off, he's going to be coming onto the board, was talking about meeting one of our other, at that point, I think he was the committee chair, and how he sat down, they had lunch, and it was just a great experience. So they become very, very good friends, which is, I think, a great thing.
That's fantastic. Well, if I could share a personal story, I've been doing this for quite some time. My first 10 years, I didn't take advantage of the national conference, and I heard so many wonderful things about it. And I said, I would love to go. I would love to go. And then the opportunity presented itself, and I've been hooked ever since. You don't want to miss it, because I think you leave here inspired. You leave here reinvigorated. I know, we've still got another, half of a conference left, but you feel immersed in it. You feel like you learn something. You leave with nuggets, and you network to a degree of, you just see so many different people who do so many wonderful things. I really do love it.
Yes. I mean, I have to say the one thing, even for us in the office, I mean, gearing up towards the conference, you're just like, I don't know, and
we appreciate your honesty.
and I don't mean this badly. I mean, but there's sometimes when I want to I have to answer questions, and I'm like, yeah. But then you come here and you see everybody having a great time, the energy that comes through, and it helps us. I mean, it helps us as a staff knowing what we do helps all of you. I mean, and that's the part I think that's really, really great.
That's great. That's awesome.
So, Cheryl, we want to thank you so much for your time. Congratulate you again on your retirement. Like I said, I do highly recommend napping. But we can't thank you enough, not only for joining us today, because we know how crazy busy your schedule is,
absolutely,
but for all you've done. The number of people that you have helped, that you have shown and guided along the way, we really can't thank you enough for that.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
It's been my pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being so accommodating, because the setup here wasn't perfect, folks, but it was all about bringing Cheryl on and really, picking her brain and really thanking you for everything that you've done over the years. So,
and listen, and hopefully these guys, and if Christopher Foley's running around there somewhere, make sure he's treating for dinner tonight as well. So, he's got. Sometimes when I go out with him, he's got some shallow pockets, but hopefully he's ready to go, and he's being generous out there. So.
He's listening, Keith. He's listening.
I know. We'll get a comment come up in the chat here in a minute. So
we're in close quarters here, so I'll let you step away, Cheryl.
All right. Thank you.
And thank you again so much.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you so
okay.
much.
I hope this worked out.
Oh, it was great.
Absolutely.
It was great.
Yes,
All right.
flexibility is what we all learn, right?